Hello, I'm Chris Lapine, spiritual liberation author and speaker from FindMyNewLife.com. Welcome, it's good to have you here today. I hope that you're well. I hope that your family's good and that your community is good. But I have no way of knowing, so I can only hope these things, of course. I really appreciate you coming and just spending a little time with me here today. And today's topic is how to get unstuck. And I think it's pretty clear that we all run into this from time to time. So maybe you're stuck, maybe you know someone who's stuck. But what I want to try to do today is to lay out some basic principles for moving forward, to just getting your movement going again. That's the main thing. Just start to move in the right direction. And I guess the first part of it is that you just sometimes aren't sure at first that you're stuck, but I think that what begins to happen is that you feel just flat, just apathetic, like you don't want to move forward. And then, that dissatisfaction starts to grow. And, I think it can be in a lot of different areas. It could be that maybe your job isn't going the way you want it to go. Maybe you've been doing the same thing for years and years and years at your job, and it's flat. It's flat. It could be that your relationships are stuck. It could be that you think that the way you're treating your body is stuck. But it all comes down to our minds just not progressing forward, not making the changes that we need to make. So it's all about starting on the inside to get unstuck, and that's really the key. The dissatisfaction can be pretty painful, and I've been there, and I go through that like everybody else once in a while, and so I think I have a sense of an idea of what you're going through, and it's, I guess in a strange way, the dissatisfaction is, we could think of it as a blessing, because it really makes you aware that you need to move forward. It's a sign, it's a symptom that you're not growing. And growth is life. Growth is happiness. Growth is bringing positive things to other people. So it's this dissatisfaction that starts to wake us up. So that's the point of growth. And just like if you were deprived of food for several days, eventually you lose your desire for any food, eventually. And it becomes harder and harder to take in food. So it really is a good thing that you're feeling dissatisfied and you want to get unstuck. That's awesome. That's great. So the other thing about it is it starts to draw you forward. So I want you to just take that dissatisfaction and think of the future that you want to have, or think of how do you want things to be better. You know where you're at right now. Where do you want to be? Inside, think of yourself, your own development. Where do you want to be? I think being unstuck is the point of being unstuck is to grow spiritually. It's not to get material things. It isn't to achieve specific goals, but it's to grow, the getting unstuck. But when you get unstuck, it makes all those other things possible. So that's the benefit of it. But ultimately, it's a spiritual gift. And I want you to believe, please believe me, you can move forward. No matter how stuck that you think you are, you really can move forward. And the most important thing to understand is that any movement forward is good. It doesn't matter how fast you're moving forward. You can be moving like this. That's okay. You can be moving like this. It's fine, because eventually you're going to get to that destination, and that's the important thing. So moving forward is the point, not the speed. So that's what you just need to get you moving again, get that momentum going. And at first, it's difficult to get the momentum going. And think of a train think of a large ship just starting out, and it takes it a little while to get moving, and it takes a lot of energy to get it moving. But once it gets moving, that's good. And that's really the thing you're going to see in yourself, is that once you start moving, once you get unstuck and start moving, it's going to be easier for you to get up the strength to try again and again and again and to keep moving. So that's important. You know, it's really about that personal growth. It's about that spark, and the real key is the power that you have within you, and it's a spiritual power. It really is. I don't want you right now to think about your particular conception of God. I'd like you to just, if you could, open your mind and just entertain this idea that when you go inside and take that time, your thoughts will change if you're open-minded. None of us are perfect, and our thoughts, our conclusions about the world are fallible. But we know that God is infallible, and that God will help you to become a little bit more objective and to know what to do. Now, your experience of God is without a middleman, no middleman at all. You don't need a church, you don't need a group, you don't need anybody to tell you what to do. You have a direct relationship with God. It doesn't mean that groups, spiritual groups, churches, clubs are bad, but you have this personal relationship with God. You are a child of the Creator of the universe. God is your loving, divine Father. He is going to help you. He is going to move you forward, give you everything you need to go forward, to get you unstuck. That's critical. If you think of God as Mother, fine, whatever you think of God as. The name of God is not critical. The important thing to understand about God is that God protects you, God nourishes you, God leads you forward, God challenges you, God guides you. God loves as a father loves. God is not a male, but God loves better than the most perfect human father you can possibly imagine. So know that God is there for you to protect you and guide you and supply what you need to get you unstuck. And it's really about beginning to start with your dissatisfaction. He's going to help you out of that dissatisfaction. So it's those moments when you know you're dissatisfied where the opportunity is. When you know you're dissatisfied, pour your heart out to God. Talk to God. Even if you don't like God, even if you're not sure God's there, just talk. Just talk in your mind. If you're in the car, at work, wherever. And as you do that, what you're doing is you're starting to loosen up your mind. You're allowing God to start draining that swamp that you may be stuck in right now. Your feet may be stuck 2 or 3 feet in the muck, and you're trying to pull them out. So God's going to start draining the muck out of your mind as you begin to pour your heart out. So the things that are in your mind right now, you want to start pouring your heart out. And then you want to, in the morning or at night or when you can, take some moments to just go alone in a room, close the door, and just sit, pour your heart out, and listen to whatever God has to say to you. Again, you got to give it a chance. No matter what experience you have with the church or whoever, your parents, that's not God. Whatever conception you have of God. Remember, right now the reason you're stuck is the ideas you have about yourself and the world and spirituality. So allow yourself to be flexible to move forward. You may surprise yourself. And what you'll begin to see is you will start to think new thoughts. And I think one of the first thoughts you're going to have is that there's some force within me for good that can help me get unstuck. That force. And after a while, I think you're going to realize that that force is a spiritual force, a good spiritual force, and that is from God. And I think eventually you're going to realize that God is your loving divine parent, a person you can eventually have a relationship with and feel. You can feel the creator of the universe. You can feel the universal Father. So as you spend more time, that will happen, and you'll loosen up more and more. The real key here is, no matter what you think, to just be sincere. Express yourself. And hunger for that. Hunger to know what the truth is. Allow yourself to accept what you're seeing. So, I mean, it's kind of like once you go into that room and you start to see things, and you may think some things differently than you have, and don't edit it out, don't push it away. Let the positive spiritual thoughts come in, and you'll begin to see things differently. That's what you really want to get to with this. And as you do it more, you remember you're draining out that swamp, you're going to be able to move forward. You're going to want to move forward, and you're going to have more times during the day when you're aware of God. You're going to have more times when you can start making different kinds of decisions. So, remember, you are a child of God, and it's in taking these moments to be unstuck that's really the key. And okay, so let's say you're doing this, and I'm going to pray for you. I don't know you, but I'm just going to send the prayers out there. But when you start doing this on a daily basis, you are draining that swamp that you're stuck in. You're thawing yourself out. You're moving forward. And once you become open to the spiritual influence of God's Spirit, there's nothing it can't change. Think about it. You have an absolute fragment of God inside you, and He put it there to guide you. You have everything you need. Just please understand that God knows everything you'll ever need and when you'll need it. So He's already arranged everything you need spiritually for eternity. You'll get it when you need it, in the way you need it, where you need it, and how you need it. It's already there. So once you start moving, once you're unstuck, you can get more of it. He's going to help you wherever you are. And you'll see that the places you want to go, the things you want to grow into, you can. Think of one thing that you don't like about yourself, you want to improve. And please understand that you can improve. Getting better, growing, having a better life isn't possible unless you replace the negative with the positive. You need to have positive thoughts to move forward. If you're trying to get rid of a bad habit, you don't get rid of the bad habit by saying, I'm going to stop this, I'm going to stop this. You get rid of it by replacing it with beautiful new habits and healthy living and all of this. And it all starts with being positive and getting unstuck. I mean, there's a great future for you once you get unstuck. There's a lot. But again, it's the speed of your movement isn't important. It's the fact that you're moving. So relish the movement. Relish the growth. No matter what's happened to you, if you think it's impossible for you to change, if you think that God is going to hold something against you, you're definitely wrong. You really are. God is perfect and loves you and wants you to go forward. There are no complicated rules. He just wants you to open up, listen to Him, and just start trying to do what He wants you to do. Help others. Be more positive. Just take a little bit of a step every day, no matter where you are. You might be in a really difficult, impoverished area. You might be in an abusive marriage. You might be on drugs. Whatever your problem is, know that God's going to help you start growing. He's going to help you move forward if you spend time with Him. He's going to give you other things to help you. So if other people are in your life who can help you, or there are other better choices, go for those. Make those. Get unstuck. He wants you to grow into the beautiful child that you can become. You were not meant to sit in a swamp and be stuck and dissatisfied and unhappy. You were meant for a happy, beautiful life, no matter what's happened to you. He will give you all the soothing, all the joy, all the strength, all the power, all the transformation that you need. So move forward, take joy, and enjoy the journey. Give it a chance. Just see what happens. I promise you will start to feel better. You may not at first, but just keep doing it, taking that time to pour your heart out, and there's nothing that spirit in you can't transform. Just remember that. So I wish you the best. I'm Chris Lapine. This has been How to Get Unstuck. I'm with findmynewlife.com, and this has been inspired by part 4 of the Urantia book. Have a good one.